So growing up, I was never a cat person. Um, yeah, but when I was living in New York a few years ago, looking back, I think it was a sign that the old misso was getting a bit clucky for the children's, and so as like a half step, realizing I was far too immature to even possibly consider that at that point in time, she went ahead and said, "Would we be cool with fostering a a rescue cat where you basically take care of these cats while they try and find them a forever home?" And it was a clever ploy because she went to the shelter. They give you like a little couple sentences of the backstory. Like for our cat, Hilsey, she came pre-named Hillary. Probably it was around 2016 in the lead up to the 2016 election. So probably some hardcore Hillary Clinton fans at the cat shelter. And yeah, apparently Hillary, she was found searching through chicken bones in a car park of a shopping center somewhere in Queens. And she was litter trained. Uh, so she was probably had a home, got kicked out, and then yeah, was trying to survive as a street cat. And yeah, that's when they found her, these cat people. I later found out that they have like a three recycled backstories that they go from, which is probably been like tried and tested psychologically in terms of which are going to be the best to get the hooks inside the foster parents. Because I've later heard from other people that they've heard the variation on the chicken bones and the in the car park story. So who knows whether that's true? But that was the backstory we received. Cat came in. I was like, yeah, I don't want a fucking cat around. It's just going to be annoying. It's going to curb my ability to travel. And I've never lived with a cat before. They might be annoying. Totally worked. She was like very, very skittish. Just had a traumatic experience. Who knows what it actually was? And yeah, and so she was like kind of unlovable at the beginning, but it created a like a challenge. I called her Princess Snuggly in the beginning because she was the opposite of um of a snuggly little pussycat, and the misso's ploy worked perfectly because after a week I was like, yeah, I'm not giving up this cat. This is now my cat. Sense of ownership and yeah, a challenge to win her affection. And so over the years, there's been many adventures. I moved down to South America and it was actually pretty straightforward to get her into Colombia. Lived down there for a little bit, and then and so that was a whole experience getting on a plane with her and like taking her to a new country. But that experience is pretty chill in terms of getting her into a new place. I had all the paperwork lined up, and then COVID came along when we were living there. So I went back to Australia. I had to leave her in Colombia with a friend, this girl who was like stuck in the Colombian lockdown. So it kind of worked out good. She had a little pet buddy, and so she pampered her and really didn't want to give her up. But I was like, it's my fucking cat, mate. Come back for her. So when we uh, got back to the US, then I went down last year to Colombia to tie up some loose ends in Medellin, but then also to get my fucking cat, mate. So I got the cat, and that was a whole ordeal to get her back to the US because I thought I had everything under control, that I didn't need any specific paperwork to get her back to the US because the US doesn't require any of that for dogs and cats. However, I forgot that there was a domestic flight I had from Medellin to Colombia, which required all this paperwork, and it was a very stressful morning where I was sleeping at the cargo terminal at the Medellin airport, waiting for the vet place to open, where I proceeded to pay several bribes to get her the paperwork and then to get onto the flight. And then, yeah, so that was a very stressful day. And oh my God, at the changeover, because she was in a carrier for hours in the morning when I got to the Bogota airport after getting on my first flight, I had to get her out of the carrier to go through the security. at the Bogota airport, the carousel thing, and then she'd shit inside her carrier and was like embarrassed, and I had to get her out, and she scratched up my arm. So yeah, lots of love taps along the way. But anyway, now she's here back in the US, and she's gone full circle. She used to be extremely skittish every time I used to try and pet her. She used to kind of swipe at me. Now the Princess Snuggly prophecy has come true completely, because she will, every time I lie down, pretty much, she will like run up and jump on me, on my chest, and just stare into my eyes and purr like a tractor. She's in love with me. Also, I think that's kind of the whole point that I'm getting to here, is that this whole kind of like, it feels like I've been manipulated by a behavioral expert over many, many years, where, like I just wait on her hand and foot, where if she's ever hungry, I just like instantly like go into the kitchen, get her what she needs. And I'm always topping up her water bowl so she's got fresh water, and, giving her a pat, letting her go outside in the balcony, and just like getting her like boxes to play with and all this stuff. And yeah, she's completely dominated me. She gives me these moments of affection. Um, but there's also the sense that she could leave me at any moment and be fine. And that's the general impression. Like when she stayed with other people, I'll be like, oh, she'll be skittish for the first couple days, and then inevitably I always get a pick with them, um, with her sitting on their lap within 24 hours and purring. And so part of me likes to think I've done that. I've kind of like been a good host. We've been good uh, cat people and trained her well. And that's why she's good with people and pretty good with kids. But I kind of think that she's just kind of like manipulated us. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. There is a sense of, I did an episode a while back in terms of ambiguity being my love language, or like incongruent behavior. So you feel like you're on edge the whole time. And yeah, there's a sense of like feeling like you'd never own someone, or there's always a specifics of like this might not work out, or they might leave. Then it forces you to be the best person imaginable. So does my cat actually like me? Who knows? But she's a pretty goddamn companion. And if you've got this type of similar type of love language, then you got to get yourself a pussy cat. They're the best.